Okay, here we go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to BWTN Sports. If you haven't subscribed already, please do hit the subscribe button. Right, there is breaking news going across the world of British boxing. Chris Eubank Sr., Nigel Benn are considering having a third fight. Yes, a third fight. Well, it would actually be a fourth fight if you kind of include that gladiator style thing where both Eubank and Benn got at it, not fist to fist. They almost kicked off fist to fist for the third one, but this would be naturally in a boxing ring. Benn versus Eubank 3 in 2019, I guess. But before I get any further into this, got to make a few announcements. So let me just make these few announcements, and then we'll get on with it. First of all, round for round boxing. Please do check out our playlist. Round for round boxing, the latest roster of all the fighters that have joined the round for round boxing game. Plus, yesterday or day before yesterday, we released the latest in-game graphics of the boxing gym, so you get a good idea to take a look and get a see of what a boxing ring will look like and a boxing gym would look like inside the game. And of course, don't forget to check out the BWTM logo in the game. So BWTM will be in this game round for round boxing. There's so much I want to share with you about the game, but I just can't. It's proprietary information. But when it does come out, believe me, it's going to shock so many people. But like I keep saying, this game is going to come out. It'll be on Xbox, PS4 and PC, but check it out. Round for round boxing, lots of stuff to come about it, but check it out. The playlist is on the channel, so at the end of this video you'll see it. If not, just go click on the YouTube channel and check it. Look for playlist and look for round for round boxing, and all the latest videos are there, so you get to see all the fighters that have signed so far, and there's lots more fighters to be announced. So I just wanted to let you know that. So we're back. Eubank versus Benn 3. A lot of talk about this third fight. Thing is, Nigel Benn was meant to try and get a fight against Steve Collins. Well, that didn't happen because Collins had issues with his license, so I understand, and Collins didn't really want the fight and stuff. To me, I hope the fight does happen. I really do hope the fight does happen. People think, we're a 2-0 fight, 2-0 men who wants to see them fight. But hold on a second. I'd rather watch these two have a scrap, right? And I'd get more value for money watching these two guys have a scrap than watch Anthony Crawler versus Lomachenko or Canelo versus Rocky Fielding. Why do I want to see those fights? And then you tell me they're pay-per-view. Why do I want to see fights like that? Why do I want to see fights that are kind of like one-sided? They're on the end of a one-sided beating. Why do I want to see fights like that? This fight here has got so much history in it. You know, Benn v. Eubank, the first fight, everybody knows about the first fight. 1990, their first fought. What a spine-tingling atmosphere that first fight was. Then we got the second fight. Benn v. Eubank, the rematch. Both world champions. And the fight was a draw, even though I thought Benn won the second fight. And then we have that situation with when they went into some sort of jungle sort of thing and they had to work together, but it all kicked off there as well. And you see, the thing between Benn and Eubank, you'll see photographs of them smiling and being cordial to one another. But with Benn, fundamentally, he don't like Chris Eubank. And there's just that switch. You see this picture here, these two guys? That switch, where if Eubank says anything that's untoward, Benn will switch because he doesn't like it. He doesn't like the way Eubank carries himself and conducts himself. He doesn't like it. And the fuse was not too long ago where I think Eubank said something to Conor Benn and Benn heard it and he didn't like it very much. Even though Eubank may have been speaking the truth, it was coming from Eubank. Now, let's just think about when these two guys last fought. Eubank, when he last fought, was up at cruiserweight. So he's a big guy, Chris Eubank. So he was up at cruiserweight. Benn's heaviest he's ever weighed was at super middleweight. Now, between the two guys actively, Benn has been in the ring training far more actively than Eubank. Okay, so you know, Ben's been the guy that's been in shape. We know Ben's last fight, I believe, was against Steve Collins. The first fight, he twisted his ankle, and second fight, when he quit his stool. Eubank's last fight, I believe, was, if I'm right, it's against Carl Thompson. I could be wrong there, but against Carl Thompson, where he's fighting cruiserweight, and two big fights against a cruiserweight. Now, I know Nigel Benn would love, absolutely love to knock Chris Eubank out, but in two fights, he was unable to do that. So, you know, and in terms of the two guys, I mean, Ben's been living you know, he says he's a fitter guy now than he was when he was back all those years ago when he said he was dabbling in drugs and DJing and womanizing. Got a more dedicated life now. I would pay to see this fight. I would pay to see this fight because there's so much history in the fight list. And this, again, when I spoke about this before, about a Legends Boxing League for retired fighters, I think it should happen. As long as the guys are fit and that, you know, they're fit and wherewithal and they can still box, I think it should still happen. I think there should be a Legends League for guys to boxing who are over 40 that can still box. I really do. I really think there should be a Legends League. So guys like this can fight. Guys like Ben and Eubank can fight. Those fights we never got to see. Lewis v. Bow and Hatton v. Witter and, you know, those fights we never got to see. We can still get to see them now. Not the same. Holmes v. Foreman. Fights we never got to see. Hopkins v. Tony. Fights we never got to see. We could get to see. Calzaghe versus Froch. Fights we never got to see. We could see. We saw Roy Jones versus Calzaghe. Yeah, we saw Jones drop Calzaghe early. We saw Calzaghe come back and do a number. People would say if that fight had happened 10 years sooner, that Roy Jones would have knocked Calzaghe out because Roy Jones would have been much faster and he would have had the wherewithal and he was Superman. Well, it's all, who knows? Mike McCallum, Roy Jones. We know that fight. But Mike McCallum versus James Toney. And then we got Mike McCallum versus Bernard Hopkins. How would that fight have gone? Mike McCallum versus Bernard Hopkins. So they're all those fights there. Julian Jackson versus Nigel Benn. Julian Jackson versus Chris Eubank Sr. How would those fights go? And an undercard. What about an undercard of Conor Benn versus, I don't know, Chris Eubank Jr.? Could you imagine fathers and sons fighting all on the same bill? Wow. You could call it the fathers and sons, the generational. So you could have all the fathers and sons boxing on one night. Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. could come and fight on the night, and Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. could fight in an exhibition bout. There's so much that can be done with this thing. I know a lot of people won't agree, but I'd rather watch these two fight than most of the rubbish on TV at the moment. I really would. Would it be embarrassing to both of them if they fight? No, it wouldn't be embarrassing. Well, listen, I'd rather watch these two fight than Jarrell Miller. Sorry. BW2, is this Eddie Hearn's doing? I don't know. I don't know. Somebody else said it's sad. I don't think it's sad. What is sad about this fight? So this is a sad fight to watch, right? The fights we need to see watch. We want Crawford versus Spence. The closest we can get to that fight is by Spence going to the same place that Crawford's in. That's the state of boxing in today. Back in the day, when a man wanted to fight another man, it happened. Today, he's got to deal with promoter. He's got to deal with TV deals. He's got to deal with too many middlemen. So if two guys want to really fight, the only way that fight's really going to happen is that they have one in the scuffle in the car park or something. That's the only way a fight's going to happen. Because promoters are not going to make the fight happen because too much money can be made separating the fighters. That's what it's about today. That's truth be said. Unless you're Keith Thurman, where you say one thing and then when it comes down to it now, you're talking about it's not in your plans and someone else is a mandatory and then who's he for? And then the guy is in the top 10. Oh, he needs to win a world championship. The guy wins a world championship. Oh, he hasn't beaten a good guy. He beats Kell Brook. All the excuses start coming out. Oh, Sean Porter's my mandatory. Blah, blah, blah. I ain't ready. He's still a boy. When you got that is pure ducking. That is ducking with a capital D, and there's no excuses behind that. That is duck. That's pure ducking. So people are put to one side. But I'm talking about the guys who genuinely want to fight. These two guys want to fight. I would rather watch Ben v Eubank 2 then Ben v Eubank 3 than Chisora versus White 2. I would rather watch the fight because it's bad blood, it's bad feeling, really bad feeling, because it's genuine. Yeah, I know Chisora thing is kind of sort of bad feeling there, but it's not the same level as Eubank and Ben, and there's history. There is history. I would have to pick Ben in this one just because of the style. Eubank's style depends on speed, and I think he would have less speed now. Hi, Ingram. Eve, good to see you in the room, Eve. Yes, if both fighters are fit enough and past the middle, yes, this is no reason why they can't fight. Absolutely. This fight should happen as long as they're fit and medically fit. Listen, let me make a point about this medically fit to fight. Now, don't quote me on this, but I've heard stories of fighters that have not been medically fit to fight, but fight because they've got to pay back certain debts, or certain promoters need them to fight because their promotion will fall apart. I've heard this, and I've heard this mainly from the States, where certain law firms have said, listen, it doesn't do us any favors to get this guy brain scanned. So it happens. It happens in boxing. So with all the best will in the world, we want both guys to be medically fit, but we know also there are guys in boxing doing things that they should be doing. It is what it is. But I definitely think if they're both fit, they should be able to fight. Might as well throw McLennan versus Watson on the undercard. Come on, Eubank versus Ben doesn't need to happen. Mate, that's in bad taste. Those are two guys there have been brain damaged. What kind of a comment is that? What sort of an idiot are you? What sort of an idiot are you that would make a comment about two people who have had the serious brain injuries to talk about those two fighting? These are two guys that are fighters who can still fight and can beat probably a lot of the guys that you're probably rating up today. Absolutely disgusting. In fact, come off my channel. Come off my channel. I'm not having that. Yeah, that's all rubbish on the channel. Shut up. Go away. How disgusting. I like the fight. They have more health than most fighters in the sport today. Let's be honest. So many are punch drunk. I know. These two guys, it would be a great fight. A great fight. I don't know if it can be a 12 rounder. 10 rounder. Yeah, I'd see that. I'd see that. I mean, I remember when Hearns and Leonard fought past their prime. People still want to see that fight. Do you mean? I remember when Leonard was fighting Camacho, way past his prime. People watched him fight. Roberto Duran, way past his prime. People still saw that. Do you mean? Do you really think Ingram wants it, Ingram? No, Eubank wants it, Ingram. I don't know about that. Eubank is he's talking about the sport being a barbaric sport. But listen, his son ain't the big ticket seller anymore, I don't think. I don't think he's a big ticket seller. And if James DeGale beats him, he's done. Because at world level, he's not performed. So his son cannot command the sort of money that he used to command, I don't think. You know what I mean? Because at world level, he's been found out. So, money might be tight. So, unbiased in the UK salute. Thank you, JMJ. Really appreciate you. Listen, here's what it is. There's a lot of garbage in boxing today. Listen, last night I'm honest, I was doing Football Manager 2019. People who know the BWTM gaming channel, get across and hit the subscribe button to that. My merry men, my good friends, they were all in the room. And they asked me, do you want to watch the boxing? I said, no, it's garbage. I don't want to see Big Bully Miller. I don't want to watch Big Bully Miller. The guy can't fight and he's fat. He's overweight. Now, listen, if he lost some weight, he could be a half-decent boxer. But I'm not going to watch garbage. I'm not going to feel... I've become a boxing diva. I'm not going to just watch boxing because boxing's on TV. Or I'm not watching it. Garbage, I'm not watching it. Big Bully Miller, why do I want to watch that? That's rubbish. Absolute rubbish. I don't care if it's UK or America. It's garbage. I don't want to see a guy that's put 50% in the gym and then go in the ring and fight and then be on a pay-per-view show. That's garbage. Absolute garbage. And it's a disgrace to pay-per-view boxing. I don't care what your name is. I don't care how popular you are. As far as I'm concerned, if you can't get yourself in shape and you can't get yourself in proper condition to fight, you shouldn't be allowed to be boxing. And you shouldn't be allowed to be boxing in pay-per-view shows. Absolutely disgusting. People should have their licenses revoked if they cannot take the time to get themselves in the gym and train. Simple as. You're a professional. That's why you've got a license. It's a professional license. Get yourself in shape. Get yourself in order. Discipline yourself and get yourself fights. You shouldn't even be allowed to fight on big cards or headline big cards if you can't get yourself in shape. Sorry, straight up. It's an absolute disgrace. Mike Tyson came back and out there and was a major interest when he fought that. Let me tell you something. If Mike Tyson said, you know what, I'm coming back for one fight. If Mike said he was coming back for one fight and say he was going to fight, I don't know, David Price. If Mike Tyson tomorrow said he was going to come back and fight David Price, I bet it'd be a sellout crowd. Even if Mike decides to come back tomorrow, it'll be a sellout crowd because of who Mike is. People can go back and look at the history of Mike Tyson. The history, do you know what I mean? I know people weren't expecting to be the same fighter, but it's larger than life characters, guys who could fight. You know what I mean? I didn't watch the fights last night neither. Eddie needs Eubank a Eubank Jr. type fighter to zone stable. I fell asleep with Clarissa Shields fights. But look, Hannah Rankin, no disrespect, but really? I mean, look, we're getting, you know what it is? Let me tell you something. What a lot of you failed, not a lot of you, some of you failed to understand is that when you've got more fights on, that means that you've got more garbage on, right? More garbage is going on. You've got Billy Bob versus Billy Bob 2. Like, what? And the other thing is, they haven't spent the time to invest in the fighters. So what you've got here is a whole load of fighters that have got no personalities or very little personality or marketability. Or even if they are marketable, they can't get themselves in shape. So Big Baby Miller could be a big player. Can't get himself in damn shape. 300+ pound fighter. It's disgusting. Now, Big Baby Miller, I found a shock horror, and it was a shock horror yesterday, early this morning. I discovered that Big Baby Miller, same birthday as myself. So shout out to Big Baby Miller, being born on the same day as me. But that's an absolute disgrace. Not getting yourself into shape, not on. I don't care what part of the world you're from, whether you're from America, whether you're from England. I don't care if you're black. I don't care if you're white. I don't care if you're Hispanic. I don't care if you've got a last name that is from a great fighter that's approved himself. If you can't do the basics of boxing, you should be on TV. I'm sorry. You should be on small. You shouldn't even be in small hall shows because you just go and do some go do some, I don't know. Go do some backyard boxing. Disgusting. Sorry. So in regards to Ben versus Eubank 3, this fight should happen. Lord, it should happen. I would love to see British legends fighting still, like Robin Reed, like see how he would do now, and all those other guys, you know, who we don't see, who fall off from the sport. There was talk about Vitaly Klitschko versus Lennox Lewis rematch, a charity match. Have you heard anything about the matter? I did hear about it, but no, it was misunderstood. Well, it was misunderstood from from Lennox's part. He don't want any part of Vitaly Klitschko, no part at all. Vitaly, he probably said, I have an opportunity to meet Lennox. It's a chess match. Let's see if I can turn this into a boxing match. And Vitaly's been keeping himself in shape, and Vitaly wants to fight, and Vitaly really thinks he can beat Lennox Lewis. So that'll always be there. And look, there's another fight. Lewis v. Vitaly Klitschko too. If I tell you, if Lennox Lewis and Vitaly Klitschko said they were going to fight tomorrow, it was signed, sealed, and done, that fight would sell. I'm telling you it would sell. But it won't happen. It won't happen because, you know, Lennox don't want that no more. Lennox don't need that no more. But I do think there needs to be a Legends League. And the first promoter that can actually get it together, there is a promoter I'm going to talk to about it. But the first promoter that can get together and say, listen, let's do a Legends League from around the world. You could do it. They did something once before like that. It was like a Super 8 tournament, not a Super 8, like a tournament that had all these old fighters in it. I'd like to see that. I really would. None of these fights won't happen. These fighters are retired for good. Yeah, you're missing my point, Marky. You're missing my point. Stop trying to be a clever Billy Bollocks. The point is this, right? I'm not talking about if these fights would happen or not. Some of these fights will happen because there's not the platform for it to happen. But they shouldn't. It doesn't affect, see, people talk a lot, and have no empathy or sympathy because they don't understand. After a fighter's retired, that thing that goes through their mind, they still want to fight. They still want to be a part of the sport of boxing, right? This is something they've entertained. They're entertainers. They've been training for years, right? And suddenly they can't perform no more. There should be a platform for fighters that can still fight as long as they can put their hands up. They can still fight, and their brains are they still can speak, and the speech ain't slurred, and that sort of situation. They should be allowed to still box. For heaven's sake, you don't say it when you watch when you guys that love football and you watch Legends football and you see Alan Shearer come on and play football, or you go and see everything. Gaza comes and plays football, or all these other guys go and play football. Yeah, you don't say, oh, well, they're a bit old now, they're past it and retired. But you still watch them every year, on charity matches. You still turn out in crowds to go and watch them play. So why can't they do it for boxing? This is a sport you actually love. And that's what people with those sort of mentalities, that's why the sport is where it is today. You can't play boxing, Ingram. Well, I'm sorry, you make a comment like that. So then what is Juro Miller doing then? Is he serious about boxing? Have you seen his 300 something pounds? Seen Dave Allen recently? No disrespect to Dave, that's playing boxing. Because you're not getting yourself, you're not getting yourself in proper shape. So I would argue with you, you can play boxing. In this area, you can play boxing. Sorry, you can play boxing. So I have to disagree with you there, my friend. You can play boxing. Guys coming into shape, coming into ring out of shape. You can play boxing because if people are being mismatched and like 1,000 to 1 fights, you can play boxing. Yeah, you can. Not in the old era, you couldn't do that because the competition was so high. And you couldn't get, and if you wanted to be a champion, there was only one belt, or there was, the guys were so, the top 4 were so good. Darren Sport. He's poor. He's got no chance. That's their style. Miller is woeful. Tyson Fury would beat him with one hand. Well, I don't know if Tyson Fury would beat him with one hand. He needs two hands. Tyson. Tyson's good, but he's not that good. He's not that good. He needs two hands to fight him. Sorry. Tyson cannot beat Juro Miller with one hand behind his back. He needed two hands to beat Pianetta, and he needed two hands to beat Safa Seferi. So I don't know about that business. Won't happen. Too old. No, I think we will agree to disagree on this occasion, Ingram. No, we will have to agree to disagree on this occasion, my friend. No disrespect, but you can play boxing. It's been shown week in, week out. Garbage fights, absolute garbage fights. You can play boxing in this era. When you can't play boxing is when you're the guy who's the underdog and you're fighting against a guy like a Lomachenko. That's when you can't play boxing. When you're fighting a guy like Deontay Wilder, who will take your lights out of one shot, then you can't play boxing, right? But what Jerome Miller's doing and what Dave Allen's doing, because they've got Dave Allen can take a good shot, that stuff to me, not good. Not good. Half the job is keeping themselves motivated. And loads of boxers do have the motivation long after retirement. They should be allowed to fight in a controlled environment. Thank you very much. They should be. UK hype thing, Joshua. What? Sorry, Ingram. A bit far-fetched. He could outpoint him easily behind the jab. Yeah, it's a bit far. Yeah, I think, of course he could outpoint him behind the jab. Of course he could. Josh Warren or Carl Frampton? I'm going with Josh Warrington. Between the two fighters, Josh Warrington has showed he's able to adapt. He's able to box. And he's the bigger guy as well. And he's a good big guy. They say a good big guy beats a little one. And I'm going with Warrington. I think Frampton is on the decline actually in his career. So I'm gonna go with Warrington on this one. I think Warrington has got it now. I think size, strength, boxing ability to be able to adapt. Warrington. I like Warrington's trainer. I do like Warrington's trainer. The game plan they had to beat Lee Selby. I didn't think he'd beat Lee Selby, but he beat him on strategy. I like guys who can adapt the way they box. And Warrington showed he could adapt his game. And that is what you need at a world level. And he did that against Lee Selby. And no doubt he'll adapt his style again to beat Frampton. Why did you leave the boxing community, and why are you back? Why did you leave the boxing community, and why are you back? Good question. I didn't leave the boxing community. And why am I back? I never left. So I don't know what you're talking about. But anyway, Frampton on the decline, Warrington on the rise. Yeah, I have to. I think so. I definitely think so. I definitely think so. So I definitely think Benn v Eubank 3 is a great fight. And just for the record, I'm not part of a boxing community. I'm part of a media community. BWTM is a media outlet. We don't just cover boxing, we cover sports. We cover a whole list of things. BWTM Online, check it out. www.bwtmonline.com. Just a reminder for those of you just tuning in, we're also the official channel for all things round for round boxing. Check it out. www.roundforroundboxing.com. BWTM Sports are proud partners of this game, which is going to be coming out on PC, Xbox One, on PlayStation 4. Check it out. Another announcement regarding the boxing community. The Training Cave, they're having their first amateur boxing show. I'm going to be there. We're going to be there 2018. Looking forward to it. New Kids on the Block. There we go. It's going to be the 1st of December at the Brains and Brawn Fitness Centre. It's in Rowley Park Road. Morley Park Road, Morley in Leeds. Doors open at 6 p.m. So you can pay on the door, or you can make a telephone call over to Jack Sunderland. They're doing some great stuff. You want to know more about Training Cave? We've done some real, done a documentary and lots of footage on the Training Cave. So you can just type in Training Cave and you can see all the videos and all the stuff behind the scenes, interviewing amateur boxing. Support amateur boxing. This is where all the future pros will come from, and the future world champions could potentially come from your local amateur gym. Support your local amateur gym or support amateur boxing. That's where our future is in British boxing. So there we go. For your response to respond to about why did I leave the boxing community? I'm still in the boxing community. I thought you stopped making videos. Well, you thought wrong, didn't you? It looks cool. Of course it does. Check out the videos, the playlist currently signed to the game recently. Austin Trout, Kelly Plavlik, Andrew Ruiz, Amir Mansour, Butterbean, Henry Armstrong, Little B Hop. Let me think who else. John Molina. So many fighters. The Ring Card Girl. Ring Card Girl is signed as well. There's a load of fighters that have been signed to the game. Lucas Brown. So a lot of fighters have been signed to the game. A lot more fighters will be signed to the game as well. Just check out our playlist, Round for Round Boxing. So yeah, do check that out. Let me see if I can show you some graphics for the game while we're here. I might not be able, let me see if I can find some. If I can find some graphics, bear with me a second. I might be able to find you some graphics. If not, then I'll have to do it another time. Nope. Nope. Next time I'll do it. Never mind, I'll do it next time. So there, I'll look for it and get it up for you guys. Actually, let me see what I can do here for you. See if I can do something for you guys. Yeah, let's see. So yeah, and also check them out. www.roundforroundboxing.com. Do check that out as well, please. Do check that out. Way from the away from the training cave. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be fun. Done a lot of work with the guys, and they've done a documentary really good, and some of the fighters that are part of the gym. So it's really good to talk to guys in amateur boxing. Yeah. Right. So that's it from me for now. Benn v Eubank 3. Let me just give you the latest news on this story because the latest news on Benn v Eubank 3. There we go. This is it. After 25 years after their first fight in 1990, what a fight that was. Guys, a money spinning bout is considered as the pair prepare for one final fight. An announcement could come next week, but they will have to satisfy the boxing authorities if they are fit to fight, and they will need a license from the British Boxing Board of Control. The possibility of a clash comes months after Benn challenged Collins, 52, who held the WBO world title at both middleweight and super middleweight, to a fight. Eubank Sr., 52, and Benn, 54, had momentous fights in the 1990s. Eubank won the first fight by knockout in 1990. They fought in 1983. It was announced Judgment Day, and 17.5 million Brits turned in to watch. Now, 17.5 million turned in to watch that fight, tuned in to watch a fight. Remember, at that time, there was no Facebook, no Twitter, no Instagram, all right? No followers in that sense. That's where I think boxing was more genuine. That's what was more genuine. It's disingenuous now. People with followers, it's just disingenuous. That's when you knew you could pull a gate in, right? Because you didn't have to worry about Twitter and Facebook and Instagram to sell your product. Imagine if these guys were on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram today. My word. That night was 42,000 that went for that fight. Now, the thing is, I want to add to this point that all these people said the fight can't happen. If the two guys want it to happen, it can happen. It's fake news, Ingram. Really? Well, you tell the Sun and the Mirror that. See the newspapers. So, Sun and the Mirror have just had it 8 hours ago. It's come out. So, for me, I'm just excited because if the fight does happen, it would be great. It would be absolutely great for the fight. You know? Absolutely great for the fight fans to get this fight. 52 and 50, 52 and 54. Wow. Check their ages again. I mean, they're old. They're actually older than George Foreman when he made his comeback. See, the thing is, they don't need to go for the British Boxing Board of Control. See, that's the first thing. They don't need to go for the British Boxing Board of Control. Yeah, they wouldn't need the British. They can get a license. It's a one-off fight. They wouldn't need the British Boxing Board of Control. They could get their license from some other one. They can get it. Didn't Henry Wharton fight? Nigel fight Benn. Yeah, he did. Actually, Henry Wharton last night. I think some of the guys fought at Henry Wharton's gym. I love Henry Wharton. I'm going to see when I go next time I go to Leeds. I'm going to see if I can get an interview with Henry Wharton. Love that guy. Shame he never became world champion. You said the board won't grant licenses. Really? The board doesn't need to grant a license. When Chisora and Hayful that wasn't on a British Boxing Board of Control license. So they can fight outside the British Boxing Board of Control. But it's a money spinning fight. There's a lot of money there. So if the British Boxing Board of Control don't so what? Go and get it somewhere else. I think the fight happened. I fought there last night. Oh, did you? Oh, well done. Congrats. So well done. How'd you do? That's true. So they don't need the British Boxing Board of Control. There's a big thing about the British Boxing Board of Control. I'm not big about the British Boxing Board of Control, but other people they can go other places to get it. You know, they don't have to go for the British Boxing Board of Control. So yeah. Right, that's it for me, because I don't want to spend too long on this. But yeah, Benn v Eubank 3. I hope it happens. I really do. I think it'll be even if it's a 6-rounder or a 6-rounder, why not? Make the fight happen. Make the fight happen. I won every round, coaches and friends said. Yeah, that's always the case, my friend. Always the case when you fight in amateur boxing that you might not get the decision that you want or you'd like, even if your friends tell you that. All you've got to do is when you go back to the gym, train even harder. So, and think to yourself when you're in the gym training, train like a person that the judges are not going to give it to you. Fight like a person that the judges are not going to give it to you. Train like a person where the judges are not going to give it to you. So you have to be even better. So you're not relying on the judges to win the fight. And you win it's so convincing that there's just no doubt that it's blatant robbery. That's what you got to do. That's what you got to do, my friend. That's what you got to do. Right. That's it. I'm out of here. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Eubank-Benn 3. Let's be having you. www.roundforroundboxing.com. Check out the playlist on BWTM or at the end of this video. Thanks for watching. BWTM Sports in association with Round for Round Boxing. Thanks again.